Remand Project is a coaching and consulting firm specializing in personal and leadership development for adult Black males, seeking to break the vicious cycle of missed potential so that they themselves transform their personal lives, their sense of leadership to their families, and their legacies that they want to leave for business and culture. We destroy this cycle on two fronts. We confront both the institution and the individual. We address the institution because, according to the statistics, Black males are under assault and are targeted for extinction in ways that their white counterparts are not. We are over-incarcerated and under-educated. There are systems in place, political systems, media systems, and religious systems that serve as intentional, or some say unintentional, barriers to the Black male's advancement. As a result, we work to raise public awareness about issues confronting Black males, promote healthy and positive images about Black males, curate spaces to share information and resources about programs, services, and support for Black males, support knowledge creation and dissemination around these issues, and provide a forum for Black males to both speak and act for themselves. We address the individual Black male because we cannot avoid personal responsibility. We are now overmothered and underfathered. We make bad social choices, and we avoid responsibility for getting ourselves out from under the social plight that we face. We will develop the moral compass and character necessary to face the adverse realities that are faced in everyday life. We live by the premise that even that which is not our fault is still our responsibility. In 2019, we answered the call to transform the culture one man at a time. Our society, our families, and men in particular are in a state of crisis. And the goal of the Remand Project is to curate the largest, strongest, and dopest community of Black males in the entire world. We then create awareness and action against the institutional and individual impediments that exist against the foundation of our culture and overall society, which is the Black male. This is the universal sign for peace. What was it, Leroy? Back in the day, you older than I am. What was it back in the day that they used to say?
I think you just crossed the white sands of 55.
I did cross the white sands of 55, but you will forever be my older brother. It doesn't matter who you get to the number next first. Every single year. That's the way it's going to be. What was it? What was it? Peace, something in hair grease. Remember back in the day?
No, peace, love, and hair grease.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
I think it was something like that. I think it was something like that.
So that's what I'm saying to all of you today. Peace.
Or if you Don Cornelius or Soul Train, peace, love, and soul.
Oh, yeah. If you don't know what we just did, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You're too young to be on this page anyway. So, and I don't like you. Y'all know how I go.
Man, good afternoon to you, Black man. It's good to see you. Always.
You feeling all right?
I pray that you've had a great weekend so far.
You feeling good? You all right? I had to check on you.
What happened?
Yeah, you know what happened. Don't try to act like you don't know what happened.
What happened, Leroy?
Because one of your two teams, since you can't, you got to be hot and cold. Took an L yesterday.
Oh, you know what? I missed the game.
I did too, but I just know the Ravens won though. I know the Ravens. No, it's yesterday. Yeah.
What was the score?
Yeah. Don't worry. It was 13-12 actually. So
okay, well, hey.
Hey, a win is a win, bro. A win is a win.
A win is a win. I will absolutely give you that. A win is a win. But my Eagles won.
Okay.
My Eagles won. And I think we play again. Don't we play again today?
They don't play 2 times. They'll play next week.
We'll play next
Because
week.
they only play three preseason games.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, because they added a game to the regular season. So they played 17 games and took the one game off of the preseason.
Yes.
So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't think any of the starters for most of these teams have played yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think none of them. That's why I don't even worry about preseason.
well, I worry about it anytime my team wins. When my team doesn't win, it's not a big deal.
It ain't no thing.
It's not a big deal if my team doesn't win. It is a big deal if my team wins. Good to see you, Bishop G.E. Gordon. Those of you that are watching, say what's up to your boys. This is not the Grown Man Podcast, but you know how we do in the Grown Man Podcast. Don't you dare come in my house and I say what's up. Just go right to the refrigerator, pick out something to eat, sit down on my couch, and then eat, dropping stuff all over the. Yeah, don't do that. Say what's up, like Bishop G.E. Gordon has done. And the rest of you that are watching. What's happening to y'all, Lottie Dottie and everybody? Welcome to the Braveheart Bible Study. This is our time. What's up, black man? Thank you for joining. Mark Reed, good to see you, bro. Thank you for joining. I got an inbox into you, man. And looking forward to having a conversation with you. This is it's going to be a very interesting Bible study that Leroy never knows the topic. And I do that intentionally. He never knows the topic because he brings such a different perspective. And I always love the perspective that he brings, even when we disagree. I have a feeling today we're going to agree more than we disagree. But who knows? It depends on whether Leroy has been drinking the night before. If Leroy has been drinking the night before, I'm not talking about water. For those of y'all that don't know, there is a process by which you can take, because Leroy drinks hard alcohol. There's a process by which you can take like the darkness out of alcohol and you can make it look just like that, pour it in a bottle. And he's got a whole 20-ounce bottle of liquor. Leroy is a lush.
The label may say Kirkland. But I think the inside is clear. What's the drink? I know you know it. What's the clear drink? Is it vodka or something like that that's clear?
I don't know. I've never been a drinker like that. No, for real. You play too much, man. I've literally never been a drinker like that.
My bad. It's clear liquor. You only drink brown liquor. My bad. I need that. That's a Cavassier. Some Jack.
Liquor is so nasty.
Ain't it? It really is.
God, it's nasty. Bishop Gordon says, I need to speak with you as soon as possible. Okay, man, just hit me up in the inbox, Bishop, and I'll make myself available to you this week coming. Absolutely. There he is, my guy, Dwight Robinson. He has I'm just so excited about the work that this brother is doing. Good afternoon to you, Dwight. Do you have a bottle to match Leroy's? I know you all live in the same area, and you drink together and smoke together.
I can't pour it out for the brothers that's not here. I ain't messing up the carpet. I ain't gonna mess up the carpet.
Yo, Leroy. Yo, y'all think I'm the bad boy and Leroy is the saint. That is alcohol that boy is drinking. And he has this whole idea about communion that he will share with you, guys.
And today is our communion. Today is our communion too. This afternoon at 3:00.
See, told y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all it's not me. It's not me. It's not me at all. Um, it's been a pretty uneventful weekend. I've just been in a weird space. Because it's unfamiliar to me. And I think I'm missing my mom too. Like there it hits in pockets, Leroy, in waves, right? Where
Yeah.
I can be absolutely good, and then I'll see a picture or I'll think about her. Or, so I went for a walk, which I do every day. Those of you that don't exercise every day, you need to. I put in at least 15 miles a week. 15 miles a week of walk, run, exercise. And you know, I you know, I will tell you, Dwight says, no, we don't drink. We don't drink, only communion, fruit of the vine. Yeah, well, that's alcohol. Dwight, like the so this is what y'all need to know. Those of you that are Christians, right? You need to know that the fruit of the vine was wine. It was not grape juice. We have made it grape juice in this country, but it wasn't grape juice. It was literally wine. So thank you for clearing up the fact
Well,
that
as my pastor say,
you
as
don't
my
drink
pastor
hard
said.
alcohol, but you guys drink wine together. Like back in the day, like out on the block, they pass it over. You pass it over. You put it in the little paper bag. You pass it over. Y'all
What
probably.
you know about that, OC?
Huh?
So you say you know about that, huh?
I grew up
You
in the
know about
hood.
that?
I grew up in the hood for real. So yeah. I mean, I grew up where the brothers stank like sweat and smell like alcohol, like
Yeah.
the real drunks of the neighborhood. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the old winos, Ned and them. That's who you and Dwight remind me of. Ned,
That night the wind from Sanford and Son. That was the funniest episode when they do
Dwight said, "There you go. That's right, Dwight. Yeah, Dwight confirming it all today. He telling it all. Like he and Leroy, you know, the times that they're together. You can find them on the park bench, you know, passing. They don't, passing passing the alcohol. Yeah. Blame it on the alcohol. So anytime Leroy's on here and he can't control himself, blame it on the alcohol. We are working with him, right?
Pastor Cavassier.
Pastor Pastor Cavassier. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out with us
We
today.
sorry. It's Sunday, y'all. We sorry. We
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know what's wrong with either of us today. But we want to say good afternoon to y'all. And I just want to is there anything you want to share, bro, before we get into today's Bible study? I want to give as much time to it as we possibly can.
Well, I am a pat on the back moment, bro. I stepped on the scale and I posted it the other day. I posted it just the other day because I stepped on the scale. Like, let me weigh myself.
Yeah.
And I am at under. Let me say under because I've been at my goal weight.
Okay.
But I'm now just under, like 2 pounds under my goal weight. I was like, go ahead.
Bro.
I was like, go ahead, boy. You know, and I've been in that area because I gained like 5 pounds or whatever. Like, well, I got to get back down. And so I stepped on the scale and I was like, man, I got to where I wanted to be. And it was all about, and I did this, it was about, which is my PVS, my personal value system.
Yeah.
About commitment and consistency. That's what got me here. Some 2 years ago when Coach Marcy, and I talk about it all the time, she put that challenge out there. She wanted people to just walk for 30 minutes. And I was like, I already walked for an hour. Started back doing that because I kind of, wasn't consistent with it, but started doing it back with her and the challenge that she gave, bruh. And I've been on it ever since. So with that and doing the exercises that I do, got down to that goal weight. So I was like, yeah,
Outstanding,
I
man.
was
And
like,
there
yeah, okay,
is the coach for Remained. The coach for
yep,
Remain is
yep.
Coach Walter Sellers. He says he owns the Butterfly Effect Studio for training in Middletown, Delaware. Got great things happening with his business. I mean, just massive, massive things happening with his business. So good afternoon to you too, my guy. Um, yeah, so that's a perfect segue into really what I want to talk about today. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go, really. We've been talking about the topic of faith and just kind of how faith works and how faith is applied to every arena, every domain, every
Mm,
rule, every area of reign in a man's life. That you genuinely cannot get um, to the place of any level of success without having some faith, right? And faith, there are a lot of people who say faith grows, faith increases, and the truth is, to every man has been given the measure of faith, and our job is to grow up into that. When I was a little boy, and several little boys, I'm sure, sometimes our parents, we grow like weeds when we're young. So our parents would buy sneakers or clothes that were just a little bit larger than you were at the time, and they would say, I said, this doesn't fit. My mom would say, well, you'll grow up in it, right? You'll grow into it. You'll grow into it. You'll grow into it. And I never thought that that would be such a powerful point. The more I got into the things of God, that when we became born again, when we got saved, when we confessed with our mouths the Lord Jesus and believed in our hearts that God raised Jesus from the dead, the Bible says that we would be saved. And this is not for today's Bible study, but in the future we'll do a Bible study on what constitutes salvation, right? Because there are a lot of people who, and it'll be a little saucy, it'll be a little crazy, because there are different ideas about what salvation looks like. But what I do know is that one of the parts that is not spoken about often in the message of salvation, or what is called in school soteriology, is the idea that Jesus is Lord. It's amazing to me that we talk about Jesus as Savior so much that we miss the fact that he's Lord, that we have a responsibility to surrender to what he says, to what he teaches, to what he says do. And oftentimes we spend an inordinate amount of time having him rescue us when we wouldn't have to have him rescue us as much if we simply do what he says do, right? And so we'll talk about that at another time. What I want to talk about today is the real enemy to your success. The real enemy to your success. And I want to show you what I have discovered that is the real enemy to your advancement, to your success, to you really obtaining and maintaining what it is you believe God has purpose for your life. And so I want to begin by, as you've heard me say before, particularly for men who are in business and have families, right? There is a term in Hebrew that is, it's the Hebrew word Amin, Ohmein, Amin, which is where we also hear Amen or Amen. But that word OHMEIN is also, it is a word that means businessman. Amin means businessman. But the word Amin also means man of faith. Would somebody put that in the chat for me? Amin, OHMEIN, means businessman. So every businessman is Amin. But also every businessman must be a man of faith. Businessman, man of faith. Here's why that's important to know. And you'll hear me talk about this often, right? It's important to know that because if you are going to be successful in any business venture, and for those of you that don't know, you're not going to like that I say this. Let's not fight about it today. We can fight about it another time. Send me an email. I won't read it, but just send me an email about it. Being a man of faith and being a businessman are synonymous terms. And the truth of the matter is you can't do one without the other. If you're going to be successful in business, and you're going to have to believe during times that nobody else believes in you. You're going to have to stay the course when everybody else tells you to give up. You're going to have to believe when it doesn't look like it's going to work in the way that you really want it to work. Type it in the chat if any of you have ever, put a 1 in the chat if any of you have ever been at a place during the course of your business where it just didn't look like it was going to work. It looked like you were going downhill. Leroy, back, remember the cartoons back in the day? 1, you're going underwater. 2, you're going to, like, it just looked like it was not going to work. Leroy, talk about that, man. Talk about the times in your business where it just didn't look like. You've been in business how long now, man? How old is JNF Enterprises?
Since 2008.
Since 2008. Leroy's been in business 16 years. 2008, right? How many times along the way, bro, did it look like, yeah, this shit's not gonna work? Like I need to do something else, perhaps.
Well, I've said this all the time, and I tell people, entrepreneurs or even aspiring entrepreneurs that this journey, this entrepreneurship journey, 1, is not for the weak at heart, but 2, it's going to have you at times at night curled up like a baby, asking yourself, why am I doing this? Because of that very thing that you just said. Everything is pointing everywhere else. It's like nothing seems to be working. The decisions you make don't seem to be adding up. You can't get the clients that you want, that nobody's responding, and everybody in your ear is telling you, why don't you just go back to working a 9 to 5?
Wow. That's so true, bro. That's so true.
And it's the hardest thing to be able to endure. And this is what I learned about entrepreneurship. It's not just about being successful financially, and it takes its toll on you that way. But this entrepreneurship thing, it takes its toll on you mentally. You got to be mentally strong, not a physical strong. You got to be mentally strong in order to be able to endure through this, because it has it takes a mental toll on you. And that's why I have so much respect for, and I say this all the time, I have so much respect for Fortune 500 companies, because every Fortune 500 company started off as a small business.
Say that again, bro, because I think sometimes we get lost with that, right?
Yeah.
We think that they just emerged one day.
No, sir.
They became a Fortune 500 company. I don't know that I have done a good job at even thinking about that, right? That every Fortune 500 company began as a small business.
And to endure the levels that you've got to endure, like you said, it takes a level of faith to move from one, from level to the next level to the next level because and you talk about this all the time because you gave the example of Willie Moore Jr. when he talked about his son.
Yes.
Each level that you move to, it takes a different type of mentality
Yes.
to get there
Yes.
and to
Yes.
sustain yourself, not even to
Yes.
get there, but to
Yes.
sustain yourself there.
Yes.
That's the mental aspect of this, the faith aspect of it. Because if you're not believing in you and your business, then who else is?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you've gotta throw away what everybody else is seeing. And in spite of that, you've got to be willing to stick with it. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't do. I think they, at the first sign of something's not working,
Yeah.
they want to try something else, do something else. Oh, that's not working. I got to go, and they on to try and do something new.
Very true.
Versus saying, you know what, I believe in this, and
Yeah.
if nobody else does, I believe in the vision because it's what's inside of me.
Yeah.
And what I am doing. And yeah, I got some things I may have to figure out, but I've got at the bottom of that, at the foundation of it, you've got to have the faith in it. Because if you don't have the faith in it, if you don't show that faith that you have in it and that passion for it, there's nobody else that will. Why should
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
What?
Let's turn to 2 Kings, man. 2 Kings chapter 6. 2 Kings chapter 6, because 2 Kings chapter 6 is a good example of what Second Corinthians chapter 4 actually talks about. And we'll look at that in a moment. But 2 Kings chapter number 6, verse number 15. And it says this, y'all. It says, and when the servant of the man of God arose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, alas, my master, what we going to do? So I want everybody to imagine moments where everything, Leroy said it so eloquently, right? Everything around you is pointing to your demise.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around you is pointing to your demise. So he sees all these horses, he sees all these chariots, and he says, his boy says to him, hey man, what we gonna do? We can't handle this. Verse 16 says, so he answered, to this is where faith comes in, y'all. He answered, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Now, this is what I need to help y'all calculate what's happening in this scripture, right? Because this is wild. Here's what he says, verse 15. He rose early, went out, and there was an army of horses and chariots. I mean, as far as the eye could see. And he says to his boy, what we gonna do, man? Look. Leroy, this is the crazy stuff entrepreneurs say. Hey man, it's more to be with us than it is with them. So then my man's a mathematician, right? He says all them, and then he look at his boy like 1, 2. It's just, bruh, it's just me and you. What are you talking about? It's just me and you in this fight against all of that. Now, I just want to pause because I don't know what anyone who is watching is facing. And I know that sometimes there's a client of mine who uses this word often. I said, man, what does that make you feel? He said, it's daunting. It's daunting, right? I got this dream. I got this business. I got all of these things that I'm called to accomplish. And it looks like the moment I make some headway, there's a headwind. I'm making headway, then there's a headwind. Like this, and then I wake up from a nap and I got all these social media posts against me. There are many brothers whose you mentioned family. There are many brothers whose families are against them. There are many brothers whose wives are against them, right? Whose wives are saying, look, to your point, Leroy, and this is the importance of knowing who you are connecting with when you get married. Because the worst thing that you want to hear is your wife say, you need to get a job. Like there's nothing that will tear at a man's spirit more than his wife not believing in him. And not believing in him when everything's sweet. Believing in him when everything ain't sweet.
But that's the easy part. It's easy to believe in something and someone when things are good, when things are going well. The true test for someone is will they believe and will they be there with you through those trying times? That's it.
Yeah. And they're coming, right? But so for every entrepreneur, for every husband, for every father, listen to me. Life comes to punch you in the mouth. Let's just be real clear. Life is coming to punch you in the mouth. Every single day, life is coming to punch you in the mouth. And that's why, again, I'm understanding more and more the importance of the wife that you have, the woman that you marry. Choose carefully, because when life punches you in the mouth, you don't need her to punch you in the other side. You need somebody that can soothe you and calm you and say, babe, it's gonna be good. We good.
I think brothers need to hear that again, bro, because the temperament and the whatever you want to call it in society today when it comes to men and women relationships, and
Yes.
even marriage, man, is horrible. You know, and
Yes.
I'm not one of those, what do you call it, sad saps or whatever that just is negative about everything. But and that's why you got to be careful of what you listen to and who you listen to,
Yes. Yes.
because if you buy into what this society is telling us, you'll be lost. You
Yes.
you really will, and we've got to be mindful, like you said, of who we attach ourselves to, and have conversations. I don't think people have conversations enough today
Yes. Yes.
to know whether or not, like you were saying, that when those times could possibly get rough, is that, and that's the
And
ultimate
and they
question.
and they and is there's no, I'm coming right back to you, Leroy, but you
No,
said something that triggered me, right?
yeah,
There
no.
is no possibly. There is no possibly. Things will get rough.
Yes,
For every
absolutely.
single, it doesn't, and I hate people that say, well, what's going on in Donald's life? What's going on in Leroy's life? They must not be living right. The hell we not. Ain't got nothing to do with living right. Time and chance come to us all, right? Like the challenges of life come with the human experience. Doesn't come just because I'm living good or I'm living bad. Life comes at everybody. So when you said possibly, I just needed to push a bit because you and I know that it's probable. It's most likely you gonna
It's
get hit
going
in the
to
mouth.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is going to happen. And you said this coming into this year, that this year was not going to be easy. And the question is, when life is not easy, who do you have there that's going to be able to sustain with you, and, like, to your point, hold you down
Yeah.
and not run
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
first sign of
Yeah.
difficulty,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
there's someone that's going to mock you.
Yeah.
Like, no. And that's why we've got to look more than beyond. Fellas, hear me when I say this. You got to look beyond the surface level of a woman.
Bruh, that booty will get you in trouble.
Yeah, it will. Come on, bro. Tell
That
them, won't
booty will
it?
get you in trouble. You enamored with the booty, you
Hmm.
enamored with the beauty, all of that. Listen to me. If she can't pray you through, if you are having a difficult time and she can't lay her hands on you and pray for you and speak life into you when you don't feel like you're gonna make it, all that beauty. I mean, I know who we are as guys. I get it. You like, I get it. I ain't mad at that. But you better start choosing character over charisma. You better start choosing a sense of substance over this beauty thing that you got, that you so enamored with. I know you got to look at her and she got to be pretty and all of that. I get it. I'm not saying throw that away. What Leroy is saying is you better look deeper though.
Yep.
You better look deeper, because that little white girl, that little white girl in The Exorcist looked like a perfect angel. that chick looked like a perfect angel until she said,
I've only watched that movie twice. And I swear, I was like, and I watched it when I was younger. I was like, yeah, I will never watch this movie again. And even when I watched it when I was older and a grown man, I was like, yeah, I know why I was not going to watch that movie. Yeah.
So you're going to have to pay more attention. And here's the reason why I went off on that tangent. Marriage and family is a business too. And I know that there are many people that don't agree. You can't get married for companionship. You can get a dog, get a puppy, get a parakeet, get something. If you just need companionship, my guy, you can get that. You can go out to dinner and you can take a woman out to dinner every single day. If that's all you're looking for, you better look for purpose. You better look for someone that can be with you in the trenches.
Yep.
And that can believe with you when life gets hard. So that's a part of what I want. So he takes this count. He said, hey man, it's more to be with us than it is with them. He said, man, it's two of us. Look at all them. Look at mom over there. Mom over there, pops over there, my lady over there, my family over there, my friends, all my cousins and them, everybody that I loan money to, everybody over there. He said, and then watch this, Leroy.
Yep.
Verse 17.
Yep.
Elisha, or actually it could be Elisha. You if you look it up in the literal Hebrew, it says Elisha. Elisha or Elisha. Yeah, it does. It says Elisha. Elijah and Elisha. Right?
Okay.
So it says, and Elisha or Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Leroy, this is a powerful text, man, because if you read it in the natural, you would say his eyes are open. That's the reason why he's telling you all these people that are over there in comparison to the two people that we are, right? He says, I pray that open his eyes that he may see. The Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So when the Syrians came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, strike this people, I pray, with blindness. And he struck them with the blindness according to the word of Elisha. So then the question becomes this, y'all, and this is why we're talking about faith today. Faith suspends a reliance on the five senses. It suspends it. So when he says, open his eyes that he may see, what you're thinking is that he's talking about his physical eyes. His physical eyes are open. He's not talking about his physical eyes. He's talking about the eyes of his spirit man. Right? So let's look at Ephesians chapter 1. Ephesians chapter 1 and verse number 8. And I'm going to show you what he's talking about. You have two sets of eyes, gentlemen. You have two sets of eyes. You got your natural eyes. that you see facts and you see figures and you see data and you see, right? And when God talks about your physical eyes, he's not just talking about your eyes, he's talking about your five senses, what you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you hear. He's talking about those things, not just your physical eyes. So he can literally say, Lord, open up his spirit, because his physical senses are failing him. If you're going to be a man of business, if you're going to be a husband, if you're going to be a father, it requires that you not rely as much on your physical senses to determine whether or not you are on the path to success. Because the real enemy of success is your five senses. It lies to you. It doesn't tell you the truth. The only one that knows the truth about the path that you're on is the God that you serve. Hear me. The only one that knows the truth about the path that you're on is the God that you serve. So even when it doesn't look like your bank account has enough money and you've got to make arrangements and you got to do what they call rob Peter to pay Paul, right? You got your physical body that's under attack. You got your marriage that's under attack. Ladies, your husband ain't doing what you need him to do. Husbands, your wives ain't doing, your kids bananas. And you tripping because you spend all of your time in this physical natural world. But Leroy said a moment ago, he said, if you're going to be successful in business, you got to know deep on the inside. That is where you get your signals from. You don't get your signals on what's happening out here. And I'll show it to you in a moment. What's happening out here is changing all the time. The one thing that is constant is I got to believe on the inside so that it directs me. Watch what it says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse number 8. Is that what I want? Ephesians? That ain't what I want. That ain't what I want. Go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Let me show you this. It ain't Ephesians 1. Oh, wait a minute. There it is, 18. 118. 118. 118. I knew it wasn't that. Ephesians 1:18. The eyes of your understanding being enlightened. So Paul is praying for the guys at Ephesus. He says, I'm praying for the eyes of your understanding to be enlightened, right? One translation says the eyes of your heart to be enlightened. Another translation says the eyes of your spirit to be enlightened. So your spirit has eyes, your heart has eyes, your inner man has eyes. And to the degree and to this extent that you are willing to allow the rule and information of your inner man to override what your eyes are seeing in the natural, what you're experiencing in the natural, your business. The only reason why, Leroy, I'm going to turn it over to you here, man. Then we're going to go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, then we'll be done. The only reason why guys fold is because they pay more attention to the physical realm, this 3D world, than they do to their inner man and receiving directions from the eyes of his spirit. That's why Elisha said, man, open that dude's eyes so his heart can see. That there's, look at all of the angelic ministry that we have available to us to change this situation and to win this war. What my eyes can see is limited, but what my spirit can see is limitless. So what part of what we've got to be better at as businessmen and as men of faith is trusting the eyes of our spirit more than we trust what's happening out here in this physical natural world. Talk a bit about that, man. Well, I'll get to the next.
That, as you were saying that, I was thinking about when Peter asked Jesus, could he to step up, and we wanted to step up, bid me to come, out on the water, and he's walking on the water.
Yes.
and he's fine because there's a storm that's going on, but
Yes.
he's walking on the water, and he doesn't begin to sink until he begins to pay attention
Yes.
to what's going
Yes.
on around him.
Yes. Absolutely, bro.
And he starts to sink. And fellas, he just this week, y'all know me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm the one to give y'all homework all the
Yeah.
time. I'm the-
Yeah.
this week, as you go through your week, you're gonna be faced with obstacles. You're gonna be faced with those challenges that we're talking about right now. And what we're asking you to do is to look in within you. Look at what you believe in about you, your business, your brand. No matter what anybody else can say to you, no matter what other conversations that you have with anybody else, it all comes down to what you believe. And do you believe in what it is that you're doing? If you don't believe in it, close up shop, shut the door, say
Yeah.
I'm done,
Yeah.
and you go
Yeah.
and you move forward.
Yeah.
But if you are going to say that you believe in what you believe in the business, even with your family, because you could have your outside family telling you what you should be doing within your own personal family.
Yes.
But you got to be willing to listen to what you believe about you. I ain't saying people's advice isn't going to be good or anything like that, but you've got to make that ultimate decision about what you believe in.
That's right, bro.
And trust nobody else but God. I say this when it comes to my business, and Don and I have talked about this. I am wholeheartedly believing in what I do.
Yes.
I don't allow anybody else to tell me that what I'm doing isn't what I'm purposed to do
Yes.
on both ends. And I have that belief because I believe it's what God put in me, and it's the purpose that I believe in what I'm doing. And if your faith isn't that strong in what you believe in or the God that you believe in, like I said, close up shop, be like, I'm done, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to my 9 to 5, that security that I want.
Yep. And by
It's that
the
simple.
way, that's okay. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Leroy had to check me about this maybe a year ago or so. He said, "Hey, Donald, I know that we're called to be entrepreneurs, and I know that that's who we are attempting to reach. But everybody won't be an entrepreneur, and we need to celebrate guys. There's got to be somebody to work with us in the business, like that. Everybody, so because I'm on it. Like, you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to start a business, and I'm so heavy on that Leroy had to talk to me. A good friend of mine, Nathan Culver. Nathan Culver talked to me about what it means to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Person that doesn't have to take all the risks, but has a skill set to bring to the vision. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, you know, as businessmen, as CEOs, as Black business professionals, right, we're called, Mike Tyson says everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth.
For sure. And that's somebody you definitely don't want to get in punched in the mouth by right there, boy.
But here's the deal. Like, imagine, because this is what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? It means signing up to get punched in the mouth.
Come on, bro. Yep.
You sign up for this.
Yep.
Like I was watching Rocky, and Rocky, somebody asked him, he had fought Apollo Creed, and I think he fought Apollo Creed, and he was going in to do something, and he was going to look for a job, and he said, "I heard you're a pretty good fighter. Why don't you go be a fighter?" He said, have you ever gotten hit in the face 700 times in a fight? He said it stings after a while. like it stings after a while. Being an entrepreneur stings after a while. Like you sign the contract on the time that you become an entrepreneur, you sign the contract to get hit in the mouth.
Yep.
And
here's the
yeah,
go ahead, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, and it's not just not getting punched in the mouth, you're gonna get knocked down.
Absolutely.
And the question is, are you gonna be willing to get back up?
Absolutely.
And have to face that again. Because it's gonna do it again to you.
Yeah. Let me sign up again. Let me sign up again, and let me sign up to get, because it's the only way that at some point, listen to me, at some point you'll reach a tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
When your why becomes big enough, you'll reach a tipping point. How do I know? The same man, Mike Tyson, who said everybody got a plan till you get hit in the mouth, met Buster Douglas.
Oh.
And when he met
everybody's got a Buster Douglas.
Everybody got a Buster Douglas. Whatever, and here's where I need you guys to understand. Even though you've been getting punched in the mouth, your Buster Douglas moment will come, where the giant that you have been fighting will fall. The key is not if the giant will fall. The key is lasting until the giant falls.
Ooh.
Right?
You know what you made me just think about?
What?
Muhammad Ali and the rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
Everybody was telling him George Foreman was going to knock him out. The giant. He was the big man with the punches.
Yeah.
He was relentless after Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And he endured the punches.
Yeah.
And then it came for the giant. Came time for the giant to fall.
That one time, he said, George, they told me you could hit harder, George. They told me you hit hard, George. You don't hit hard. And then when George got tired,
yep.
Boom, 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 put him to sleep. When it looked like he would never win. And that's why, guys, it's important to when you read books that not just talk to you about the technicalities of your craft.
Mm-hmm.
Read books about the courage of the people in your craft. Read books about Kathy Hughes.
Yes, sir.
Who slept on her radio station floor with her son in a sleeping bag.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Read
sir.
stories about her who got a divorce but was turned down before she got a divorce 30-something times before she got a yes from a bank. See, yes, you think all you got to do is have a pretty logo, and that your little pretty logo is going to be enough for everybody to run to you. You think because you done set up an LLC that your LLC is enough. Come on, man. Listen to me.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to tell you.
Or
I'm trying to tell you that you're going to have to go through some things in order to get to the end result. You're going to say something, Leroy?
Yeah, or if you like Pinky Cole and her first restaurant burned down. Lost everything.
Yes.
And now she's just bananas.
Yes.
You gotta understand, you will get punched in the mouth.
You will get tested, and it's necessary. That's why James says, whenever you get tested, count that thing joy. He said, count that thing joy. Like, you ought to be excited with every test, because every test is building character with you. You can't get to character without the test.
You
can't. You can't. Everybody wants, and I heard this for years, it sounds a little coy, but it's really true. Everybody wants the testimony without the test in the testimony. A test is the ancestor of testimony, right? You don't get to that without, you don't get to character without the test. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, we're going to go to about 5 after. so I can get this to y'all. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse number 18. Actually, verse 16 says, therefore we do not lose heart. We don't lose heart. Even though our outward man is perishing, everything we see around us is decaying, is crumbling. Kathy Hughes got a radio station in no house. I need y'all to see. And ladies, before you sign up to be with an entrepreneur, you better do your homework.
Yes, sir.
Because don't get in it and then start complaining. No, don't just ride when everything's good.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what you got to be willing. You got to be willing to go through it. And if you aren't, like you said, it's okay.
It's okay.
You
like
say
everybody ain't built for this.
Yeah. If you're not built for it, you're not built for it.
It's okay.
That's
like
cool.
No hard feelings, but don't get in it and then decide you're not built for it.
Right.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. So when everything's crumbling around you, yet your inward man is being renewed every day.
I'm sorry, bro. What did you say? You said was it 2 Corinthians
chapter 4, verse 16?
4:16. Okay.
Yeah. So it says your inward man being renewed every day, even though everything out here is crumbling. I'm working on my inward man every day because my inward man is going to ultimately determine what my outer stuff looks like. So I ain't tripping about the stuff that's happening around me crumbling. It's okay. And I'm going to show you why it's okay. Verse 17 says, for our light affliction is for a moment. Right? Is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. This affliction is bringing something to it. David said it this way, Leroy. He said, it's good when I was afflicted. It was good when I was afflicted. Right? So your affliction is working a far more eternal weight of glory. Then it says in verse 18, while we do not look at things which are seen, but we look at things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Here's what that means. And I want to give this to you, Leroy. I want to talk about this for about 5 minutes, man, because there's so much to unpack in this that people don't see. Notice what it says. Verse 17, for our light affliction is for a moment, is working a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Verse 18 begins with the word while. So while suggests a time limit. So what he says is our light affliction is for a moment while we do not look at the things which are seen. So what he really says is the length of your stay in a trial. Catch this, Dwight, and I need you to type it in here, Dwight. And the brothers that are watching inside of the Remain community, I'm seeing y'all, and I recognize it. I can't see your. Eric Robinson said, you never want to get punched in the mouth by another man who knows and has faith in his purpose if you are wavering and unsure of yours.
That's for sure,
You're so
boy.
right, bro. You're so right. Right? So here's what he says here, Leroy. He says this. He says, the tribulation, this is what people don't know. The tribulation lasts as long as you keep your eyes on it. The moment you take your eyes off the tribulation and put your eyes on the things of the spirit, which are eternal and internal, when I open up the eyes of my spirit, the affliction doesn't last long. The reason why people have lengthened trials and tribulations and challenges is because that's all they pay attention to. And a part of what God is saying here in verse number 18 is, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. How do I look at the things which are seen? With my physical eyes. How do I look at things which are not seen? With my spiritual eyes. He says this, the things which are seen with my physical eyes are temporary. The things that I see with my my spiritual eyes are eternal. So here's what he says. The way to fight as a businessman whose business is fledgling doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's just starting. It's just starting to get momentum. It's just starting to move forward. The way to deal with a fledgling business or a business that is up and down is start working on your inner man. Because a businessman and a man of faith are synonymous terms. You can't be a businessman without being a man of faith. You can't, because when you get punched in the mouth by the stuff that's happening out here, you got to be willing to go inside and figure out, how do I endure all of this while I'm building my business? How do I endure all of this while I'm trying to love in my marriage? How do I deal with all of this while I'm trying to raise my kids? How do I deal with all this when my money's funny, my change is strange? How do I deal with all of this? And he says, you got to learn how to master your inner man, because your inner man is what's going to determine ultimately what is happening in this outer arena. Leroy, let's talk about that, man.
No, I mean, that's just all of it, as you always say, it all begins with your core.
Absolutely.
Everything that you're going to deal with, you've got to go inward.
Absolutely.
First, before you deal with anything else that's going on. Look inward. Look at you. Look at what it is that you need to do in that moment, and how to effectively deal with the situation, with your brand, with your business, and moving forward. Because when you get punched in the mouth, when times are not easy, when times are hard, you're gonna have to endure one, but then you're gonna have to figure out, okay, he got me that time, that got me this time. What am I learning from it? What did I gain from it?
Don't
It's like
rush, because that
right.
is it. What am I to learn?
Yeah.
This didn't come to destroy me. It didn't. What am I to learn? There is a lesson in what is happening, and I got to ask myself, what did it come to teach me? Go ahead, man.
Yeah. And even beyond, when you think of a boxer, he has a trainer in his corner, and the trainer is there to be able to tell him the things that we went over when we were preparing for the fight.
Leroy,
he tells you how to hold your hands, or what this opponent is more than likely to do, so that you know how to attack them and how they're going to attack you. So if I know that I have that obstacle or situation is going to come at me a certain way, then I know, hey, from an inward standpoint, yeah, I've got to be this way. I've got to move this way. I've got to move that way in order to be able to avoid it. And yeah, when you get hit, you're going to get hit sometimes. You have to realize, okay, I did this as opposed to that. And so the next time that I'm in a situation, and that similar situation or even something else comes up, I've learned from getting punched that way. I know I didn't have my hand in the proper place. My feet weren't in the proper position. I know, because it was a dude that asked me this years ago, and we were sitting in his office because I was interviewing him, and it was for the book that I was writing. And he said, you know what? He asked me this question. He said, what's the punch that, and I hope I get this right. He said, what's the punch that every boxer gets knocked out by?
The punch you don't see.
Boom. There
Absolutely.
it is. The one that you do not see.
Absolutely.
That's the one that gets you. And if you're looking at your inner core and you're looking at who you are, what it is that you need to do and everything like that, you will make sure the majority of the time that you are looking for certain punches to come.
Because the punches are going to come. I don't want y'all to hear Leroy and I saying that the punches are not going to come. The punches are going to
Right.
come. The
They gonna
level
come.
of preparation that is required to prepare for the punch. And you just said something, bro, that I'll never forget for as long as I live, because it's just so true. Thank you for this. The purpose of the trainer is to remind me in the corner, we train for this.
Yeah.
We watch film, hours and hours and hours of film. He is doing exactly what we knew he would do. This is what I am seeing you are not doing.
Yep. And that's the trainer's only purpose in the corner, is to watch and see what you are not doing.
Bruh. Bruh, because you can't read the label from inside the bottle.
You say that all the time.
Heat of it all. When you're in the heat of it all, you're responding by subconscious.
Right.
So when you get back to the corner, he said, "Hey man, pick that up here." Right? And when he throws this, you do this. Right? We train. Look, we train for this. We train for this. So brothers, you can't avoid the fight. Whether you're in business, whether you're married, whether you got kids, you can't avoid the fight. And it's a real punk move to run from the battle. You really want to win, lean into the battle. And there are a couple ways to go into the battle. And then we'll be done, Leroy. Let's give two examples. There's a couple ways to go into the battle. You can go into the battle like we just talked about with Buster Douglas. He went in smooth, relaxed. Like, I'm gonna do this for my mom. Mike going down tonight. Or you can go into the battle like Mike Spinks. Mike. Hey, Leroy. Mike
was like, I'm gonna do this 30 seconds and give me my money. I'm gone.
I knew it when he was walking into the ring. That boy's scared, man.
Yeah, he was done before he even got that. But that was Mike Tyson's most opponent.
Was even thrown.
Yep.
Somebody on his walk-in, somebody's like, "You can do it." He was like, "All right."
All right, then.
All right, then. If you say so. Right? One of the things I said this recently. One of the things that my mom and I would always not argue about, but my mom didn't like Kobe Bryant until he died. When he died, she loved him. I said, "Mom, why you don't like Kobe?" Because he's arrogant. And she would look at me and say, "And so are you." That's my baby. She says, "So she ain't pull no punches. So are you." Right? And I would be busy trying to prove that I wasn't arrogant. And the truth is, confidence and courage comes with a cost, because often it's misunderstood. But you and I know, Leroy, if you are going to win at business, there's a certain swag that you got to have. You got to walk in the room at least knowing that you know your business. At the very least, knowing that you know this is purpose. Because there's going to be so much that comes against you trying to tell you that you don't know what you're doing. This is not the business for you. You need to give up, cave in, and quit. You need to go find a job. All of those messages that are out there, right? That you're going to have to develop confidence. The first stage of the process with Remand, and we can't tell y'all what that is, but the first stage of the process of Remand is a series of steps all designed to get you to come to the place of courage and confidence. That's all it's about. It's about giving you the tools necessary to remain steadfast and courageous and confident to go through the rest of the process. Because if you don't develop that there, then you'll give up in the middle of the process that we're going to put you through. And it's hell going through it when you do it right. It is hell going through it when you do it right. So I want you to know, Dwight says it here. He says, you're created to win and dominate. And this is the victory that dominates the world. 1 John 5:4, even my faith. My faith is the tool, the confidence I have, the faith I have, the courage I have to stand in there and wait for Mike to come with his no socks on, black shorts. He ain't got no robe. He looked like he coming to kill me. He's Mike was saying, I'm here to go to war. I'm here to now in his later years, you know, he'd knock you out and then pick you up and shit like that, right? And he'd kiss you on the cheek, he'd wipe your face. Like,
call you my brother. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I never got hazing. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not joining a fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, nah, you ain't gonna beat up on me for however long, that's 6 weeks or however long that they were, and then turn around and want to be my brother after you done made me eat this and kick my butt doing that. Like, no, that's not how I roll. No, sir. No.
So y'all, whoever you are, brothers, whoever you are, you're a businessman, and the requirement is faith. You have to get in the arena. And and I don't have time to deal with it today. Maybe that's next week. I'm tired of people. Brene Brown, my wife turned me on to Brene Brown, right? And Brene Brown, I don't know whether she's a psychologist. I don't know what she is. She's got a degree. I don't know. But she says this all the time. It's amazing how many people have so much to say and they ain't even in the arena. They ain't even got the courage to start a business, but they got everything to say about yours. Mm-hmm. They don't even have the courage to love again after divorce, and they got everything to say about you. Right? It's amazing to me how much people have to say, and they don't even have the courage to do what we do. So I want to encourage every brother that's watching, amen, listen, I believe in you. We rock with you. We want to give you the tools necessary to be successful at all that we got going on, all that you have going on. We got the tools necessary to help you get you to the place where you can win. And we like to work with you. So if you're interested in having a conversation with us, then go to calendly.com/remain. Choose one of the ways that you can meet. Choose a strategy session to meet with me. We can talk about having you dominate your business while having a thriving marriage, and life at the same time, family and life at the same time. Leroy, we got some things coming up, man. We got the Remain Gala coming up.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be crazy. Guess who's going to be there? My boy, Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, is going to be there sharing. That brother is, he has been a phenomenal friend to me and brother to me for several years now. Walked me through some of the darkest times of my life, have been really consistent. And he's an orator bar none. Like, the brother can just put it all together. And so he's going to be there. Elected officials will be there. Business owners will be there. Supporters will be there. We'll be giving out awards. We will be laying out the agenda. It's going to be a power-packed night, and we will also have several national and local artists that will be there. It's just going to be a phenomenal time. Leroy, what would you say about the Remand Gala, man?
I say it's one of those what I call be in the room events. You don't want somebody just to tell you about it. It's something that you have to experience. It's going to be an experience.
Yeah.
It's the culminating event that Remand has. It's an introduction of Remand to some folks that might not know who we are. But it's a way for us. Everything that you hear about us talking about here, you gonna hear about it there, and you'll be able to see the results of what man has been doing
Yeah.
over the
Absolutely.
years.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about the things that we got, other things we got to go hear, but at the gala, you're gonna hear about things. You be like, what? Because you know how. I'm tired of hearing folks say real quick because I know we got to go. Folks saying that there's no organizations out here that are doing what they need to be doing for men. No, I say yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And there are organizations out here that do what they do, but there's none that do what we do. I'm gonna say that again for y'all that didn't hear me.
They do what they do.
They do what they do, but there's nobody out here that does what we do.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
It really is phenomenal to see. We are working with brothers who are affluent, and we working with brothers that are coming out of jail. Because here's the deal. You hear me say this all the time. Both of them the same brother. They the same brother.
Come on now.
The same brother. Ain't no big eyes and little U's inside Remand. Everybody gets something. Everybody gets checked inside Remand, including me. They check me too.
And here's the great thing. And I know we keep saying we got to go. We got to get out of here, bro. But here's the great thing about what you just said. That no matter what man you are, whether you're the C-suite guy, whether you the family guy in the middle that's working 9 to 5, or whether you're that brother that's coming out and trying to get reacclimated. We all want to do one thing. Mastery.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Master life, leadership, and legacy. It doesn't matter where we are on that spectrum.
Absolutely.
That's the only goal that we're after.
Bro, that's so true. That's so true. And the one thing, I need y'all to hear me carefully, and then we going for real. Leroy and I going for real.
We done had about 8 closes, did we?
The one thing that a man must have if he is going to master life, leadership, and legacy, you got to have character. It is the one thing that you got to have, and it can only be found in one place. The development of character can only be found in one place.
Oh, I wonder where that is.
Remand. That's what we do. That's what we do. We give you the sustainability, the character, the stick-to-itiveness, the fight against all the odds necessary, not just to obtain life, leadership, and legacy, but to maintain and sustain life, leadership, and legacy. And Dwight Robinson going to end the show just like it should be ended. He said it. We after it all. Not just a portion of it, not just fatherhood. We're more than fathers. Not just as husbands, we more than husbands. Not just business owners, we more than business owners. We after it all. And after it all at the same time. Leroy, it's been great, man, hanging out with you. Those of you that desire to be at the gala, go get your ticket. Go to remandgala.com. Go to remandgala.com and get your tickets. And we'll see you on October the 19th. Any final comments, bro?
No, that's it this week, y'all. Remember what I said. When you have that punch in the mouth that comes this week, look at your character.
Absolutely.
And the character is who you are on the inside.
Absolutely. We'll see y'all soon. See you tomorrow for the Grown Man Podcast, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
The Remand Project is a coaching and consulting firm specializing in personal and leadership development for adult Black males, seeking to break the vicious cycle of missed potential so that they themselves transform their personal lives, their sense of leadership to their families, and their legacies that they want to leave for business and culture. We destroy this cycle on two fronts. We confront both the institution and the individual. We address the institution because, according to the statistics, Black males are under assault and are targeted for extinction in ways that their white counterparts are not. We are over-incarcerated and under-educated. There are systems in place, political systems, media systems, and religious systems that serve as intentional, or some say unintentional, barriers to the Black male's advancement. As a result, we work to raise public awareness about issues confronting Black males, promote healthy and positive images about Black males, curate spaces to share information and resources about programs, services, and support for Black males, support knowledge creation and dissemination around these issues, and provide a forum for Black males to both speak and act for themselves. We address the individual Black male because we cannot avoid personal responsibility. We are now overmothered and underfathered. We make bad social choices, and we avoid responsibility for getting ourselves out from under the social plight that we face. We will develop the moral compass and character necessary to face the adverse realities that are faced in everyday life. We live by the premise that even that which is not our fault is still our responsibility. In 2019, we answered the call to transform the culture one man at a time. Our society, our families, and men in particular are in a state of crisis. And the goal of the Remand Project is to curate the largest, strongest, and dopest community of Black males in the entire world. We then create awareness and action against the institutional and individual impediments that exist against the foundation of our culture and overall society, which is the Black male.